Hey, today we're going to talk about greens powder, in particular, Live It Up greens powder. It's super green powder, and these kind of powders can help you with hormone detoxification, gut health, so they can help the hormone balance, the gut balance. We're going to talk all about that, why they help, and go through this honest review of Live It Up greens. So thanks so much for joining me. Like I said, I don't know if I said it before, but I'm Dr. Shelley Meyer. I'm a functional medicine doctor, a registered dietitian, and a family doctor. I have my own functional medicine practice in Denver, Colorado. And if you followed this channel at all, you know that I talk about hormone health and gut health, and more recently, perimenopause. So we're going to kind of have an angle about that, about perimenopause and hormone balance with this video. But it really can apply to those seeking gut health too, because we're talking about, or just overall health and wellness. We're talking about greens powders, and those can be a great way to get nutrients and to get in particular the kind of nutrients that can help you detoxify. Why do we want to detoxify? Stay tuned, I'm going to tell you more. But before we get started, be sure to hit the subscribe if you like this content and you've enjoyed the channel. If you haven't subscribed already, it'd be great. And to hit the like if you like this topic and the topics I've been covering lately, and to help the channel grow. So again, thanks for being here. We again are going to talk about greens. So why do we need greens powders? We don't necessarily need them, but our diets are a lot lower in nutrients than they used to be. And these powders are a way to condense a bunch of different really balancing nutrients that we need in our lives into a simple powder that doesn't taste too bad. This one actually tastes really good. You put in your water. I like to put it in sparkling water. I put it with a grapefruit spindrift. It tastes really good. Or in whatever your smoothies, and then you just a simple way of getting these nutrients. So that is what we're talking about here. And why do we need, or why would we benefit from greens powders for our hormones? Well, as I said in the beginning, hormones are super important for detoxification. And in perimenopause, we get a little toxic with our hormones sometimes. And I've talked a lot about estrogen dominance, and that's like the first stage or so, maybe a little bit into the second stage of perimenopause, where our progesterone is declining, and then our estrogen is kind of surging and peaking and valleying, and just has a relative dominance compared to the declining estrogen. So if you haven't checked out any of those videos, please do so. They're on the channel. I also have a blog called perimenopause.help that it kind of spells it all out there. If you're not as much of wanting to memorize things from the videos, you can check out that blog, and it's all there in writing. So it's perimenopause.help. So there's a section in there on estrogen dominance. I think it's in the perimenopause phase category. And then there's lots of videos on the channel on not perimenopause dominance, estrogen dominance. So anyway, when we have estrogen dominance, we want to detoxify our estrogen and push it out in a healthy way as best we can. And that's where I keep pointing, because I'm going to pick up the greens here in a second, but that's where things like these greens powders come into play, and they can be very helpful. They also have dandelion root in them a lot of the times, and that's very detoxifying, a lot of it, along with some of the other nutrients I'm going to discuss. So they can help with hormone detoxification. They also help with gut health. Our gut and our hormones can be screwed up at the same time, giving you a double whammy of bloating and acne and even weight gain, or bowel irregularity, all those crampy kind of things we don't want around in our lives at all. So that is also another benefit of these greens powders. So again, if you haven't looked at any of my other perimenopause content, I highly recommend you do so. But like I said here, there's a phase 1 to phase 2, and phase 1 is typically estrogen dominance with the progesterone declining. Phase 2 is when you start to get into your estrogen declining too, and you start to get those classic menopause kind of symptoms like hot flashes and insomnia and night sweats. But you can really, in phase 1, and this whole process can last like 2 to 8 years or more. Phase 1, you can have some of those symptoms, but you can also have irritability and mood swings. You can have those in either phase, and acne, like I said, from the estrogen dominance, really heavy or irregular periods. So that's more of the phase 1 landscape. But really, these greens can help with at either of the phases, because you do need good hormone detoxification regardless of what phase you're in. These are a rich blend, a nutrient-rich blend of like kale and spinach. Let's dive into this one, Live It Up Greens, because I do have this one here with me, and this is the one I've been using lately. There's a lot of brands out there, but I like this one. As you see on the beginning, or on the front, it has chlorella, spirulina, wheatgrass, kale, broccoli, spinach, barley grass, and moringa. But it is, despite, having the barley grass and the wheatgrass, it is vegan. Well, I mean, despite, it is vegan in general, of course it is, but it's gluten-free, because those are the grasses and not the actual gluten portion. Caffeine-free, soy-free. This one has no added sugar. And you just need 1 scoop of it to equal a serving, and you put it into your favorite drink or milk. So that's the nutrients in that one. And there's a lot of commonality there with the other super greens having, and this is all made with organic vegetables too. Having vegetables not always organic. It's best to look for organic because you don't want to add more pesticides into your life. What pesticides do when we're already estrogen dominant in perimenopause, or even in our younger years, before perimenopause. Perimenopause can start in late 30s, early 40s, so it can start younger than we think. But we don't want to add any more pesticides, anything that's going to act like a fake estrogen. And so that's where organic foods, if you can afford them, come in super handy. So look for one that's organic, and this one is organic. But a lot of them do have the kale and broccoli and spinach and the added nutrients too. So you're not going to be able to read the nutrient label on here, the supplement facts. I will post it in a screenshot here, and then also have a link to this so you can look at it too. But I'm going to tell you. So there's fiber, a little bit of fiber, only 0.3 grams, so not much there. I always talk about recommending that you get 30 to 35 grams of fiber, because that really helps you detox as well. But it has a little bit of protein, 2 grams, no sugar. Vitamin A, it has 85% of your vitamin A, so it's 769 micrograms of the retinol equivalent. It has vitamin C, B1, B2. So some of your B vitamins, more of the riboflavin than other, well, that's in micrograms. So a little bit of vitamin C, some of the B vitamins. It's not like a B vitamin supplement, but a lot of times we don't need that much B vitamins and we pee them out. But what does have a decent amount of in B vitamins is folate, which is 372 micrograms. So a lot of times when you're eating these greens that are listed up here, you're getting folate, and so that's why it's so rich in folate. And folate is great for methylation, so that's another process our livers go through for detoxification. Our livers have such a big job. They have to detoxify the hormones. They have to also detoxify alcohol, things like that, our medicines, some of our supplements, some of the hormones, the fake hormones we get in our pesticides, unfortunately, or plastics. So the hormones have a big job, particularly during perimenopause. So anything we can do to help them, and folate is one thing we can do to help our hormones. I have a video on MTHFR defect, and it's not a long video, but it was a long time ago when I made that video, so I should make an updated one. But a lot of us have this defect where we don't process our folate as well as we should. So we should look for a addition to our lives like this, in addition to eating the actual food. When we're in a hurry, when we need more of it, when we're not getting the right amount of it, which is 5 to 7 servings of veggies a day, then we can rely on something like this, and we can get our folate. So that's a long-winded way to say folate is good. That has B12, 50 micrograms, calcium, a little bit of calcium, 21 milligrams, has some iron, 2 milligrams, so we do need iron, but it's not too high in iron, because when we bleed a lot, we need some extra iron. So when we're in those heavier times of the cycle, when we're in maybe early perimenopause, but later perimenopause, when we stop bleeding and when we finally hit menopause, which is a year without a period, we don't need the iron as much. So don't take a lot of iron when you're in that later stage. Also has phosphorus, iodine, good amount of iodine, which helps support our thyroid. Magnesium, that helps for detoxification, that helps for muscle health, that helps for brain health, that helps for sleeping. It only has 16 milligrams, but it still has magnesium, and it's good to look for magnesium on your labels. and to, if you need to, take some magnesium for good bowel movements and all the other benefits I talked about above. It has some zinc and selenium. Selenium's also good for our thyroid. Zinc is good for our immune systems. Copper has a little bit of copper. We don't need very much copper, but it has some copper. Chromium has a decent amount of chromium as far as what our needs are, 39 micrograms. Molybdenum, a little bit of that. Sodium, not very much, only 20 milligrams. And potassium, 93 milligrams. But below that label, on the label, you'll see the Super Greens proprietary blend, spirulina and chlorella, which are very detoxifying. I use chlorella in my functional medicine practice to help people get rid of heavy metals, so it's very, very detoxifying. It also has the whole leaf wheatgrass, whole leaf barley grass, monk fruit extract. So that's how it's sweet. So if you don't like monk fruit, maybe it's not the right one for you. But monk fruit is a gut healthy sugar alternative, unlike some of the others that are hard on our guts. I think stevia, it can be okay in smaller amounts, but monk fruit is actually easier when you have SIBO. It's easier to tolerate monk fruit. And I don't know if anybody has SIBO that's watching this, but I have a lot of videos on that if you want to check that out. And that stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. So let's go on here. Peppermint leaf powder, very good for our stomach. Spinach powder, good for that folate and nutrients that spinach has. Moringa leaf powder, also detoxifying. Alfalfa leaf. Broccoli powder, again, that's a great cruciferous vegetable. That's good for hormone detoxification. So eat lots of broccoli. Oatgrass juice. Dandelion leaf, again, a good detoxifier. Nettle leaf, great for our gut, great for our immune system, good for histamine balance. Burdock root, good for detoxification. Horsetail is good for gut health. Parsley leaf powder, really good for detoxification. Kelp powder gives us our greens and some of those nutrients we're talking about. Ginger root, excellent for, I use it in SIBO all the time, excellent for bloating and digestive health. And then it has a digestive enzyme complex in there. So speaking of bloating and digestive health, it also has papain from papaya, bromelain from pineapple, and vegetarian pepsin. So that is a key, especially if you have any kind of bloating, diarrhea, constipation. Digestive enzymes can be a game changer for you. And I use them all the time in gut health in general and also with SIBO. And then dairy-free probiotics. So a lot of times we'll see probiotics and they have dairy in them, and that is fine for some people, but a lot of people, dairy is an allergen. It really does cause more bloating for them. So this has Lactobacillus acidophilus, Lactobacillus casei, Bifidobacterium bifido, and Bifidobacterium lactis. I'm glad it has a combo of, one of the reasons I like it, it has a combo of the lacto and the bifido. You need both. There's benefits of both. You can check out my probiotics videos to learn more about that. So I like the Live It Up greens. You can leave me a comment if you have any questions on that. You can also send me what you like in the comments, and we can dive into that. I can do more reviews. And I do have some more reviews coming up on hormones, hormone-related products, on wild yam, on some of the other supplements we take in before hormone balance. So stay tuned for those. I am trying to get a coupon code from the Live It Up greens. They had one for me, but I never actually got the code. So hopefully you can save some money on it. I will put that in the description as soon as I get it. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, follow me there. I will put it there in my link tree as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something. I hope it helped, and I will see you next time.